Hey guys, insight number 2. Sorry, I composed myself from the last one. So if you're seeing this on just day 2 and you're thinking, what did you compose yourself from? Go watch the first one. Anyway, Moroni chapter 2, mighty in prayer. So he goes on in this one to talk about prayer specifically, church administration details here really. But why is that so important when he's running for his life? What's so important about these administrative details when he's on the run for his life? What can we learn here? So he said, the words of Christ which he spake unto his disciples, the 12 whom he had chosen, as he laid his hands upon them. So this is literally how he set them apart in the calling, and how they got the Holy Ghost, basically. Read through with me. There's only 3 verses. Verse 2, he says, and he called them by name, saying, ye shall call on the Father in my name in mighty prayer. That's the key this week. And after ye have done this, ye shall have power, that to him upon whom ye shall lay your hands, ye shall give the Holy Ghost. And in my name ye shall do this, or you shall give it, for thus do mine apostles. Now Christ spake these words unto them at the time of his first appearing, and the multitude heard it not. But as the disciples heard it, and as many as they laid their hands on, fell the Holy Ghost. So the Holy Ghost is for everyone. As many as want it, get it. It's liberal. It's a liberal gift. It's not something that's reserved just for the leadership. But the mighty prayer is the bigger point here. So the details of the church are important to the Lord. And what does this chapter teach you about confirmation and the gift of the Holy Ghost? Because this is what it was, really. It goes on to talk about sacrament prayers and priesthood power. And we talk about that in the other insights. But this one specifically around getting the Holy Ghost and using that priesthood authority that they have given them from Christ himself. Which, you know, if you want to look at your priesthood ordination line, wouldn't it be so cool to be like, me, Christ, be like, but we all have that. Like, even us as sisters can look back at who set us apart for whatever calling and where their priesthood line of authority comes from. It all goes back to Christ. So whoever it came through, so whoever set you apart for whatever calling you're in, whenever you're in the temple and you're blessed, there's priesthood authority in that. And I'll talk about this more in the next one, but like, this is confirmation of the Holy Ghost. Who confirmed you? Now for me, and I'm so grateful he did, because my evil stepfather wanted to, and I really packed a sad on that one. I got baptized by him, and I did not want to, and at that point you had to be a Melchizedek priesthood holder in the office of high priest to confirm someone with the Holy Ghost, and that's changed. But at that point you did, and my stepdad didn't have that, so that was not an option, which thank goodness, and I'm really grateful. Although for some people it would have been a bad thing for them, for me it really worked out well. And my granddad was able to do that for me, confirm me with the gift of the Holy Ghost. And that's the only thing about my baptism day that is even worth remembering. The rest of it was just horrendously awful, and for years I struggled with the whole being baptized by someone who beat me up beforehand, and then yelled at me afterwards. It's not fun, but I remember the Holy Ghost coming. So while my baptism has been a hard thing to process, getting the gift of the Holy Ghost is a beautiful thing. And mighty in prayer is my grandfather, very much. So what does this chapter teach you about the confirmation and the gift of the Holy Ghost? Well, the gift of the Holy Ghost is when you are confirming someone, you do it with mighty prayer. It is a blessing, and I mean, I don't know that they blessed everyone, but these days we do. And that's really cool. So they confirm you with the gift of the Holy Ghost. And you've got to be very spiritual to be able to do that. You have to be very aligned with Christ to be able to allow that to pass on and to be able to have that feeling. Usually now, if you're a convert, it's done by the missionaries. And they're living in a good place. They may be teenage boys, you know, let's face it, they are, of all those things. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing for sure. So how is that good for you? Confirmation of the gift of the Holy Ghost. And how does accessing the power of the Holy Ghost help you call on the Father in mighty prayer? Because that's what you get. And I know that he's not saying that in there, but I want that a question for you. How does accessing the power of the Holy Ghost help you call on the Father in mighty prayer. It's the conduit in which you have that relationship to be able to express your deepest concerns, the way you're feeling, because God already knows that. But talking about it is incredibly therapeutic. You can see I've had an emotional week. Anyway, it's just calling on the Father in mighty prayer takes you to be in a special place of sorrow and grief, maybe excitement. Of this week, I've seen sisters in absolute panic and worry for their families, for asking and pleading for prayers for their children and their loved ones and for themselves. And isn't it awesome that we have a prayer roll we can put people on, put people's names on, literally put the people on there, and that people in the temples worldwide will pray for that. It's mighty in prayer. So how can having that gift of the Holy Ghost, because we're all born with a spiritual connection to God and we all have that Holy Ghost there, is always there. So don't get me wrong on that. The Holy Ghost is always with us. But the gift of the Holy Ghost is not actually getting the companionship of the Holy Ghost. It's having a higher access power to or through the Holy Ghost. That you're able to recognize it more, use it correctly, hear Him more. Go with hear Him. Here you go. Thanks again to Tanya from Honey and Ice. Hear Him. It's being able to be gifted in something, like already having the talent, like being able to just get up and sit in front of a piano and not have to learn it and just be able to play. That's what getting the gift of the Holy Ghost is. We don't have to learn it, we get it. It's given us as a gift. You have the access through the Holy Ghost. You don't have to earn it, it's a gift. So, how does that help you call on Father in mighty prayer? It helps immensely. So think about that. Think about just that little thing and what you can learn there. And just think again, why is Moroni writing about church administrative details when he's running for his life? Why is that so important? I know why. Tell us why. Drop it in the comments. Alright, hang around for insight number 3, where we'll be in chapter 3. I'll see you there.